Here.
Also present is Jim Inslee, County Attorney, Lisa Ziner, Plan Director. Not present is Kate Skirvin or James McKee, but we do have a quorum.
Okay. The first thing we'll do is the review of minutes, and these would be the minutes from November and December. I did not get a packet. Evidently it's lost in the mail. Kate is sick, but she had told Jenna that she had looked at everything, and everything was cool with her. Do we have any additions or corrections?
I do not.
I think on page 2 of 8, the middle paragraph where it says Greg Williams, I think we have a couple extra words in that third line. It says, now that we have one, that we have one. I think it was just added twice in there, so. The third line. That's the only thing I noticed.
Any other additions or corrections? Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Election of officers, I guess we'll start with the president first. Any nominations?
I nominate Kevin Scobie.
Second.
Okay, I have a first and a second. All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Vice president, and that is currently held by Zach Bowers as vice president. We'll have a nomination for vice president.
I nominate Zach Bowers.
I second. Okay,
Sorry, I got that one.
Slow down.
all right, moving along quickly. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And the secretary, and it's currently James McKee. I thought he was gonna be here, maybe he's just running.
He could be
along.
stuck in traffic somewhere.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
very
maybe.
well be.
Yeah.
Okay, so do I have a nomination for secretary?
I'll nominate James McKee.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. I'm not familiar exactly with all of this. I have some old stuff for rules of procedure. And evidently we need to review that and approve it.
Are you going to do the meeting dates first, or are you skipping that?
I guess meeting dates are on there next, aren't they? It's hard to get by you, isn't it? Okay, I'm sorry, I jumped the cart there. Has everyone reviewed, our meeting dates and times and so forth and so on?
There's still the second Thursday, right? Nothing changed with them?
Yeah. Is there anything we need to discuss regarding this?
No, it's just updated based on the fact that you changed the meetings from Mondays to Thursdays.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Moving ahead with the rules of procedure. And like I said, I have old rules of procedure. I don't know whether anything has changed that come through that or not. So we'll open that up for discussion.
So the major changes are on
Can you
the,
turn that up?
No, it ain't. It's.
I'm
back
trying to keep it from echoing.
The
Okay.
volume of the TV needs to be turned down.
Probably the volume of the mic. Okay, so the major changes in the rules of procedure are the meeting date and time, because it originally said second Mondays at 5:30, so that's been changed. Greg, this is the box underneath the TV. One of the mics needs to be turned down. No, with the red lights. There you go. Hold on, I'll tell you which one. in the rules of procedure. The
Well, I mean, I think it depends, because you don't, somebody shouldn't get to a vote and see where it is and then decide, my thing, they should probably table it before.
Yeah, that's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my question, does John Q. Public know that option?
I think we usually tell them.
Okay, if that's the case, that's fine.
at the meeting, if there's not a
It doesn't
full,
look like this is going to
if there's not a full membership, we give them that option of requesting a continuance or,
give people that
yeah.
opportunity.
Andy, is that better?
I mean, I can hear
turned up the
myself
volume
now.
on the TV again, that's
I'll
what
find
we
out,
do.
I'll find out if they got it.
Okay. Do we need to repeat all of that?
No. Do we have any other discussion on this?
It's been a long time. Lisa and I looked at those. I mean, I think my short answer is no. We've looked at those a long time ago, but it's,
So you two are satisfied with it? Okay. Any other questions or comments regarding that? Would someone like to make a motion?
Motion to approve what's the official title of this thing?
Rules of procedure?
Rules of procedure for the area plan commission, as written.
I'll second it.
Have a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay.
We don't have anything under old business.
No.
This vertical bridge, this is rezoned from rural preservation A1 to Ag A2 to allow communication tower in Washington Township. This is on the west side of County Road 5, 25 west, approximately 45 hundredths of a mile north of the intersection of 525 west and County Road 1200 south. This parcel is identified as 67-170-400-025-001-019.
So this petition, the petitioner sent a legal notice to the banner. Banner told him it would be published on the correct date. The banner then pulled the wrong information and did not get this published on the date that it was supposed to have been published. Therefore, legal notice was not done. So we need to continue this for improper notification. The March meeting for the 12th is set at Cloverdale. It's a full agenda. We cannot add anything else to that agenda. So we either need to pick another date in March to hold this so they have time to do the proper legal notice. And then anyone who is here at the meeting is also put on notice of when the new meeting will be, so they would not have to send out new landowner notification. It would just be notification in the paper.
So have these legal notices, have they been refiled, go into the banner? Do we know?
They've not been refiled because we need a new date.
Okay, so we need to come up with a date then, so, I'm sorry, folks. So, we have two choices, you know, either we come up with a date and try and correct this and fix this, or it looks like this would unfortunately have to wait until April. The people with the cell tower really don't want to wait. They kind of want to go ahead with this, but, you know, Lisa and I talked about this today. Next month, you've got spring break and some different things and so forth and so on. So,
What about Thursday the 5th?
That wouldn't give them enough time.
That would be
They,
enough time.
wait, I don't know. What is
We're the
today?
12th today.
You're right, hold on.
you can't do the 5th? Is this, okay, what about,
Yeah, because that would give them enough time. They would have to have it in the banner on the 20th.
I don't have
But
a
you can't
calendar-
do
I
that.
don't have a
Okay.
calendar in front of me.
Here you
If
go.
If we stick with, so the 5th won't work, the 12th is out then.
Spring break is the week of the 23rd.
Or do they all have the same spring break?
I
now?
think so.
Pretty much.
Okay.
What would anyone think about March the 19th?
That's our town council meeting.
I can't do March the 19th.
What about, Tuesday, March 10th?
Go
Actually,
gonna work for Jim?
I'm sorry. March 19th actually would work for me. I'm still in
19th.
February mode, not thinking ahead. So, yeah.
Would,
As long as it works for everybody else.
do you have Tuesday the 17th?
Oh, the 17th?
Would that work?
I think, as far as I know.
This room would not be available on the 17th. That's council meeting.
17th will be a county council meeting.
Yep.
And I got a park board meeting.
See, I had another line.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't, that's not my phone, so I didn't know why it was
Well,
underlined.
the 10th, you said the 10th, is that a day, or somebody wasn't available on the 10th? Oh, okay.
Well, okay.
So
Let me
that-
ask you this, how many people would, to the best of their knowledge right now, be available on March the 10th?
I would be.
I can be.
You can't be.
I can be.
Can be, Greg?
I have a park board meeting, but,
Well, that's up to you. Well, just,
yeah, it'd be questionable.
okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that. This is the 5th and the 19th are the two that I know of that won't work for me, so.
Would Thursday the 5th or 19th was out for someone,
For
correct?
me,
Right.
Okay,
and,
and it looks like we're just gonna have to wait.
Just make it the April meeting.
Unless you know, I don't see anything, I'm
I mean, I
sorry.
know with,
You know, I'm sorry you folks got drug in here to this.
with spring break and everything,
Yeah,
I understand. So the meeting would be the regular meeting, which would be April the 9th at 6 PM.
yeah.
Okay.
Do we need to, we don't need to vote on that, do we?
No, not since it's going to be at the regular meeting.
Continuance.
Yeah. It's just continue. You do need to, I guess, technically vote for it to be continued to that meeting. Yes.
So you want us to vote on moving it to?
Just moving it to the April 9th meeting.
And
Yes.
the date of that is going to be
April 9th.
April the 9th. Okay. Would someone make a motion then to continue that until our April 9th meeting? Sure. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
second.
All in favor? Aye. I'm sorry, folks.
The regular meeting in April.
You know, but I do have a question.
Mhm.
Andy and I talked about this. Why can't we just post our legal notices on the website for planning and zoning?
So if it involves, so if it's just a special meeting, you only have to have 48 hours. But if it is something that involves, that's technically you have to have a public hearing, it has to be in the newspaper 10 days in
What if we
advance.
didn't have newspapers?
It's statute. We can't, I mean, there's nothing, we
We
can't.
have one though, so.
Yeah,
that's
it's
not an
state
option.
statute. If you don't have one, you do like the one that's closest to you. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
we have
not
to do the
anything we
style.
can change. It's, I mean, said,
There was legislation a couple of years ago to get rid of it having to be in the newspaper and having a state website where all legal notices were, but it didn't get out of committee from my understanding, so.
Okay. All right, do we have anything under the business section?
Not unless you guys have anything else for me.
Other business? Janet? Wishes to be heard, anything?
I
Nope.
do have one
Oh.
question, about the House Bill 1001, and it's about, them changing authority for some zoning and moving, utility costs for housing developments and stuff back to the municipality. And Amos announced some things about it recently. And it's, but it'll be, so the basis of it is, that municipalities lose local control over housing density, setbacks, parking, design, streets, and allowing ADUs without any municipal approvals relative to sewer capacity, subdividing, etc. Includes impact fee restrictions, so core infrastructure and amenities necessary for housing developments cannot continue unless existing taxpayers and utility ratepayers pick up these costs for developers and new property owners. Building standards are largely in place to protect homeowners and commercial businesses. When the state starts taking away the ability of local units to create safety measures with use of certain building materials, it is the residents who will pay the price in ways that endanger their safety in case of fires and other disasters. So I didn't know if you guys were aware of that bill or had any.
Yeah, there was a similar one that came up last year. You just kind of have to wait
Okay.
and see what happens. This,
Is that moving forward?
It's going to.
Is it in committee now?
Yes, and it will be going to, which committee, they just said? Senate something. Be heard in the Senate Judiciary Committee next week. So, but it looks like they're, trying to work with the author to make some changes to it, but, I think it's getting more traction from the way it sounds. House Bill 1001. So I just wasn't sure if you guys had any thoughts on
I
it.
think that would based on what you were saying, I think it would affect the towns and the city more than the county, because county would be on private water, private
For the
wells
most
and,
part, yeah.
and septics, so
But if it's
I think it
affecting
affects the towns more than,
density though and other things, that could be a
possibly.
possibility, yeah.
6 o'clock.
Oh, James?
Let the record show, James walked in.
So yeah, I was just curious if that was gonna, if anybody knew any more about, was gonna get traction or anything.
No, I'm gonna say that there was one that was similar last year. You just
Okay.
kind of have to wait and see what, I mean, that's what I do. It's like,
Yeah.
you can worry about it and, you know, fret and then it doesn't happen, or they chop it up, but, you know, it's, you know, there's a lot of stuff out there about local control being,
Yeah, and
Take it
of
away.
course, a lot of it doesn't get out of committee, but,
Yeah,
you know,
the minute
this
it
is an
does.
interesting one.
Yeah, yep.
The one I'm worried most about is House Bill 1333.
It's died, hasn't it, though, Andy?
I don't know, I haven't heard if it's totally died or not.
Right, are they going back and making revisions on it, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? Lisa?
Nope.
James, we didn't, the legal notices did not get in the newspaper for the for the tower. Okay. So it had to be continued. So, anyway,
And you're secretary treasurer again. Congratulations.
Your secretary. And we continued it for the April 12th meeting, so.
ninth. It's gonna be a special meeting for that.
It's not a special meeting,
it's
it's a regular meeting.
It is.
It's
yeah,
the regular meeting.
that
Yeah,
is a regular meeting.
1333.
It's still blue, so it's not marked inactive yet.
Yeah, I think they killed it the way it was written, but that doesn't mean they can't go back and make some serious changes, yeah.
We were at 5:30.
Yeah, 'cause I think the
we moved it back-
utilities
We moved it
committee
up or
did
back
kill it there,
to
yeah.
6 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah, all right.
Anyway,
I know we're just about done, but just so, I mean, just maybe you don't have to have a conversation, but maybe be thinking, you know, we have the meeting coming up on the solar petition, and, you know, we just saw what the rules of procedure are, and if anybody in this group, and Kate involved as well, wants to alter those, you'll have to make a motion at the beginning of the meeting to, change this. I'm not suggesting you do it, but it's been done in the past sometimes when we have bigger meetings like that, and,
Do we need to have it,
like, for example, sometimes the participants, they start asking Lisa and I in advance because they want to prepare, like, and know how much time they have to speak. And, well, I mean, as I said, I thought I'd bring it up, because like I said, it happened last time, where there was, they wanted to know if they were gonna get, how it was gonna work, like, the order, when the public hearing part of it was, that type of thing. So, I'm just putting it out there because it'll be here before we know it,
So, anyway, the meeting will be on the 12th, right?
Correct.
At 6 o'clock at the Cloverdale High School. And we gotta be out of there by, the meeting has to be over by 9:30.
Because we have to be out of there by 10, and we got to tear down.
Meeting will be done by 9:30.
Okay. Yeah, because,
So, if we do that, I'm just sitting here thinking that we give Energy RE a half hour and their attorneys a half hour, and then we gotta let the public, I guess, then the public can make comment, and we'll just see how much time we got left and tell them that's how much time we got. And when we reach that time, we're done, then we take our vote. That's how I feel about it.
so you're going to give Energy RE basically an hour?
Half hour.
Well, you said their attorneys also get a half an hour. So is that Energy RE's attorneys, or
Talking about Energy RE, they get a half hour.
they get a half hour?
And
Okay.
the other side gets
Okay.
only a half hour.
I just wanted that clarification.
And they can figure out who gets to talk the longest.
so we would give the petitioner a half hour, then we would have a discussion between the board and the petitioner. And then when that's done, we would give the audience how long?
Well, how much time we got left, and then how much time they wanna let their attorney.
Well, that's gonna take us.
But them attorneys should only get a half hour, so whether they got 4 or 5, they only get a half hour to talk, that's how I look at it. And then the people, I mean,
Well, when will we let the, if they do their presentation first, and we give them a half hour, and then there's discussion with the board, then do we want to go back to the attorneys then, before people in the audience get a chance to speak? It's probably the better way to do it, isn't it? So the audience would be, they would have everything in front of them at that point in time, if something come up they wanted to ask about.
what do you think, Jim?
Come on, come on.
So my,
Generally, I mean, like, the way you did it last time is the presenters presented, you guys asked questions, then it was open comment, and then you reserved rebuttal time for Energy 4E to go at the very end.
Right.
To address any of the concerns that the public hearing brought up, is the
Yeah.
reason for that.
After Energy RE gives their presentation, we want to ask them questions right then.
Yes.
And then let them answer, and then go to the attorneys, and we can
Well,
ask them.
attorneys are public comment, you guys are,
Okay.
yeah.
Right.
It's basically public comment, and you
Okay.
have to decide on the public comment, are you giving the attorneys X amount of time, or are you just whatever's left, the people that have signed up to speak, are
Well,
they,
if we give them a half hour,
And we
who's
said
them?
If we
Pardon?
get,
Who's them?
the attorneys.
For,
well, I know where you're going with this now, so.
so Jim's saying the attorneys for whether they're remonstrators, the
Well, for the
opposition,
petitioner,
the,
we go
the
first.
public, the public who has hired attorneys to represent them at the meeting, that's who Andy's saying gets 30 minutes, depending, doesn't, like, that's, if there's if there's 4 different groups that have gotten 4 different attorneys, the 4 of them total get 30 minutes, if I'm understanding what Andy is saying, yeah.
Yes.
And then the additional, anybody who else wants to speak would get X amount of time.
Well,
But how are we gonna determine,
I think.
did your attorney already speak for you? That's my question.
For simplicity's sake, I think you just say, Energy RE has 30 minutes, you guys are gonna ask your questions, you don't know how long it's gonna be.
Right.
Then you get to the public comment, and you want to reserve X amount of time for remonstrator, for and against. And you, I don't know that you need to separate attorneys and other people. It's
Okay.
people that are speaking for it, people that are for and against it, they need to have equal time.
Right.
And then you come back to the rebuttal.
Yeah, now at the last meeting, didn't you say if you have an attorney representing you, you don't have to get up and speak after your attorney because that's what they're getting paid for?
Well, it's just like we told them the last time, you know, please don't repeat something that
Right.
the person in front of you just did, and we listened and listened and listened to the same thing all night long, and Jim Inslee come up to me, it was after 10 o'clock, and said, we've still got 90 names left to speak.
Yeah. Also, it was brought to my attention after that meeting, but some of the people that did speak actually had attorneys that they had hired, but they spoke
Yeah,
also, so.
Some of those people went together and hired attorneys, so.
But, and then they also spoke even after their attorneys did.
So I guess,
So, are we expecting the drastic change in the presentation that they need 30 minutes? 'Cause on our normal time limits, it's only 15 for present.
I mean, the petition was drastically changed from what it was original, so that's really up to you all to decide. Do you want to stick with the rules of procedures as written?
myself, but.
I mean, that's my question. I mean, outside of, we've sat through their presentation once for all the nitty-gritty, and everybody but Greg was there. Do we really need to sit through a whole presentation, or can we just see?
Have they
just
asked
kinda hit
for
the
more time?
highlights?
We don't know what they're breaking.
They've
to the
not asked
table,
me
but-
recently for more time, no. But that doesn't mean that they won't. We're just trying to get ahead of it.
Yeah.
Well, we've got to be out, you heard that, we've got to be out, of this, you know, this has to come to a vote by 9:30. So that gives us 3.5 hours. You know, so the first half hours, there, if we give them a half hour of the presentation, I have no idea how long the board, might have discussion. After that, I would,
It was about an hour last time.
But we had like 3 hours, 3.5 hours of public comment.
Rules of procedure, where's the
Like, around, you know, the whole meeting was 5 hours, right?
Yeah, something like that, 5, 6, yeah.
well, okay, so a half hour, then the board discussion. So the public comments, and we'll just say that this is the people that are for, not opposed, but for it. That would be the petitioner's attorneys to speak, and anyone else that was in favor of it, whether it be somebody in the neighborhood or what. So what if we give that a half hour?
And they're eating up your whole time at that point.
Well, you know, I feel like you have, I feel,
Essentially give the petitioner an hour at that point. You're giving the petitioner an hour and then the petitioner's attorneys petitioner's a half hour and the petitioner's attorney's a half hour?
well, that's part of the public comment. Their attorneys,
No, he's saying the petitioner's attorneys.
the petitioner.
You're asking about the remonstrate, or the other side's attorneys. Because the attorneys for the petitioner should give, like, if they're given 30 minutes, that would include Energy RE and their attorneys in that 30-minute time frame.
Do we want to let GREs, whatever it is, do we want to give them, say, 20 minutes for a presentation? And then let their attorneys speak directly after them? And give them a half hour?
I think you guys are making this too hard.
Yeah.
You just say, here's a time spot. I don't
That's what
care,
I'm trying to figure
but I know,
out.
but I mean, but why are you separating attorneys and petitioners? It's just, the attorneys are the petitioners. They are part of the process. You tell them, you get this many minutes, whether it's
Whoever they let
your
talk is
attorney
who they
talks,
let
whether it's
talk.
Mr. Cummings, whether it's Emily, whoever. They just have this time slot. And then they get that time, you guys ask your questions, and then at that point, you have for and against, or however you want to do it. And then you give whoever, remonstrators, and you give those in support the same amount of time. Whether it's attorneys, whether it's, you know, they have, 30 minutes for people that are against it, 30 minutes for people that are for it. And if they don't have 30 minutes worth of, then again, I'm just using numbers, I'm not suggesting.
Yeah.
And then you have the rebuttal, and then that's it. And then, again, in the rebuttal, I don't think you delineate, like in the rebuttal, whether it's the petitioner talking or it's petitioner's attorneys. They need to make that decision. That's up to them. So if you say presentation, I heard 20, I heard 30, that starts out, that's just petitioner.
I'd say 30 minutes, I mean, if we need to vote, we can vote like.
So
Well,
what
you're
we-
gonna have to vote the night of to like, to get all, I mean, to table these rules, because these rules say 15 minutes and 3 minutes for every person that wants to speak. So that's why we're saying, if if you're trying to streamline a little bit, and if like each group, remonstrators and, let's say those in support of, if you say you get 45 minutes, they get 45 minutes. And that means the attorneys can take up, I suppose if one attorney took up 25 minutes, that leaves everybody else 20 minutes. You don't have to do this, it's just an option. I mean, I know I've talked to some people on the board about it. If you want to let everybody speak for 3 minutes, you let them that's what the
Okay.
rules say. But I mean, it's somebody approached me about what are some possibilities about, so it's not so long. I'm just giving you,
Well, I think it needs to be shortened.
45 minutes for Energy RE and whoever they want to speak, and 45 minutes for the opposition, that's an hour and a half. I mean, and then, we're not gonna take 2 hours to talk about it, so, I mean, that's a 2-hour meeting, you would think.
It won't be.
Oh, it won't be, but.
No, you're not gonna get it done in 2 hours, but.
45 minutes for Energy RE, is that separate from their presentation?
No, that's everything.
That's our rebuttal included, you're saying?
Well, no, the rebuttal's gotta be a little bit better after that, because who knows what they're gonna have to rebut,
But don't we have to allow, if you do 45 minutes for the opposition, you have to allow 45 minutes for them in favor. The presentation cannot be
Oh.
included in that 45.
Yeah, true.
So you do 30 for the presentation, 45 for the opposition, 45 for the ones in favor, and then it's equal across the board.
And you're at 2 hours already.
So the 45 minutes for each one would include attorneys for either side. I guess in this case, would we let the attorneys start out and advise them, you folks have 45 minutes. So if one person gobbles up the whole 45 minutes, or should we try and do something to limit the attorneys? No, probably not.
So they haven't asked for more time yet, right?
No, not to me, no.
So why are we discussing giving them 30 minutes?
So what did we give them last time?
Well, because we're not gonna give everybody 3 minutes to speak either.
We're just giving, we're saying you need to think about this ahead of the meeting, because you have to vote on it ahead of the meeting.
A big presentation, I'm assuming they don't need to go through every little detail again.
I don't need to hear about sheep again.
I don't either.
I don't need to hear about the grass again.
So just keep them to their 15 minutes, then we can reduce the public comments to 2 minutes.
Well, the public comments needs to be a total amount of time.
you make it a total amount of time, but again, right now, it's 3 minutes a person, so you can make it whatever you want to make it. So you could say,
Well, but the point I'm making is, for the petitioner, their attorneys, might, and I hate to put it this way, they might need longer than 2 or 3 minutes, I don't know. So I don't want to eat up.
but the petitioner's attorneys are talking during their presentation phase. You keep bringing those two different things up. Their attorneys are gonna be talking during the presentation phase and then in the rebuttal.
Okay,
When you're
so
talking about the
are-
fors and against, you're
Okay.
just talking about the two sides. And the reason we're talking about attorneys for those against, because they haven't spoken yet. The attorneys for the petitioners are gonna be part of the presentation and the rebuttal.
But the last time Cummings talked for probably 45 minutes.
Well, that was,
You know.
that was also because their presentation time was not 45 minutes.
I know, but I'm just saying he did, and then we got to the attorneys and so forth and so on.
Well, we just gotta spell it out. This is
No,
what's gonna happen.
he did his presentation time, then you guys asked
I was gonna
questions.
say, yeah,
That's
that's
why
when
he
he was
talked for
talking.
45 minutes. He
Well,
was
we had
answering your
discussion,
questions.
But then the attorneys come in.
The attorneys that came in were on the public side.
Yeah.
Their attorneys didn't, there were two attorneys,
The opposition,
yeah, there was
there was 2 on.
two on the opposition,
At least.
not for our Energy RE's
Penny
attorneys.
Felling, that real estate expert lady, and so my question is, if we have 90 people that say they wanna talk against and 5 people that wanna talk for, we have to each allow them, you know, the same amount of time. And,
Right now, it's 3 minutes.
correct, but what I'm saying is if there's, again, 90 people and we only say you get 45 minutes total, what's our, can we just tell people we're done listening to you?
Yeah, they're your rules of procedure, guys.
Okay.
Yeah,
I just
Well,
wanna
we
make sure.
got, you know,
So,
regardless of one person,
Commissioners do when they shortened it the last time?
say what, Shannon?
What did the commissioners do when they shortened it the last time?
Commissioners don't have the rules of procedures you
Oh,
guys
they
have.
We make our own as we go.
Okay,
Easy.
what, do you remember like roughly how
I
you
didn't
guys
do that.
sorted it?
Yeah, well, we let them talk, we let the other side talk, and,
Did
I
you
mean,
wanna go
the
for as long?
petitioner talked, then we asked questions, and then the other side talked, right. And we did not let the public speak because they already spoke at the planning commission
Did-
meeting. And they used their speaking as,
Basically what they did, they
we
accepted,
recognized them that they'd already
yeah,
spoken.
they accepted the plan
Okay.
commission meeting as part of the record.
Mhm.
So it was on tape, it was, you know, so they didn't have to have that. So they allowed the attorneys for both sides
to talk,
again
yeah.
to talk. But again,
Okay. Let's see, just-
but back to Zach's question is, I know like right now it says 3 minutes per person. If you decide to change it, whatever you do, you have to give both sides the same amount of time. So even if there's 90 people and there's 5 people, you have to give them both X amount. And they gotta figure out how to get the 90 people in, they gotta figure out how to get the 5 people in. If that's what you're looking to do.
cause I remember, like, the last meeting, we were technically asked them when they signed up if they were for or against, and then we decided not to worry about it, just let them come up and talk.
Yeah,
We had one sign-in sheet for everybody to
Right.
sign in that I was reading off of.
And you
But
just went in order.
I just went in order that they were signed in, yes. If you want me to do 2 separate sign-in sheets, the reason that wasn't done the last time was because the one up north, there were people that didn't want to sign in, even though they wanted to speak, because they didn't want the people behind them to know if they were for or against it,
Right.
because of the
well, if I, okay.
friction, I guess.
Okay, so we are kind of splitting this in a way a little different than we did the last time, you know, because it will be 2 kind of separate discussions, those in favor of it and those opposed to it. And if we allow X amount of minutes for one, it's the same amount for the other one. And if 2 people take up all the time, then unfortunately, that's just, you know, we can tell them up front, you know, hey, there's several people who'd like, you know, please be courteous and so forth, but that doesn't necessarily go anywhere.
Is it rude of the board if somebody's talking to say, next, you're done?
We did try
You gotta
that.
set, you gotta set.
She had a timer and she was trying to cut it off.
Yeah, she had a
Someone just
timer
didn't
on, she's
listen.
on top of it too.
Someone just didn't listen to her.
I did cut people off when the time was up. Yeah. If you have a specific time that you're allowing people to talk, I set a timer, I tell them their time is up, and we need to go to the next person. So it's up to you guys on how you want to do it. But yes, if it's a 3-minute timer, it's a 3-minute timer. Your time's up at 3 minutes. I'm sorry, next.
Well, so we've got 50 people that would like to speak that are opposed. And we've got X amount of time set aside for that. And obviously, it's not gonna be enough time for 50 people to get the opportunity to speak. So I'm gonna ask this then.
If you have 90 people speaking, you give them 3 minutes, that's 270 minutes, you're talking
Yeah.
4 hours.
Yeah,
Right.
I'd say you start the meeting, you say you have X amount of time to speak against it or whatever. Use your time wisely. If you're gonna say the same thing your neighbor did, say, I pass and move on, or you're not gonna get to the last one that has the most critical information you need to hear. So,
well,
but
but the
repeat yourself.
point I'm making is, if there's 50 people that are there that wanna speak in favor, or in opposition, how are we gonna decide who gets to go first or whatever, the order that's gonna go through? Is that gonna be the sheet that you have?
That's the way we've done it in the past.
Okay.
That's the easiest way probably to do it, is to go down that list.
Okay, so I don't see anything wrong with doing that again, and allowing each person, you know, 2 minutes.
I mean, yeah, that's fine, we can do that.
Afraid people won't sign up if they're for it, knowing there's so many people who will be against it. Good point.
Well, during the commissioner meeting, we had a sign-in sheet, and we asked them to either say they were for or against. But they didn't get to speak, but we did have a total.
Well,
mean-
what if we do that? What if we have a sign-in sheet? If you would like to speak, you have to be on that sheet. Depending on where your name is on that sheet, you may not get the opportunity to speak. It'll be kind of like first come, first served, I guess.
Yeah, and we could break it, sorry. Trying to keep the echo from coming, but, when they sign in, it's, are you here to speak or are you here to listen? Like, when they come in the doors, do you wish to speak? If they say yes, they have to sign in and they have to put beside their name an A or an F, for or against. Then when I go down the list, if we're doing the fours first, then everyone with an F would be able to speak. Mark their names off as we go, and then it would go on to the next. If they don't want to speak, they don't have to sign in. But then that kind of negates having a total of how many people were there total. Okay, so then it's, you sign in, if you don't want to speak, put an X by your name.
So
If
can you
you're,
just put, like, on the sign-in sheet, can you just put an A, an F, or an N, and they circle which one they want?
yeah, I mean, I can,
I don't think we can make people sign in. It's a public
Right.
meeting.
yeah,
If they don't want to sign in, they don't sign in.
But if they're not signed in, they won't get the opportunity to speak.
exactly.
So we should tell them, when they come in, if you do want to speak, whether it be, for or against, you know, there's two sheets, one for and one against. And there'll be a time limit and so forth and so on, however we're gonna do that. I think that's the only way you can, I don't know.
Let me ask you this, what time are they gonna start letting people in the building, 6?
No, I will be there. The meeting starts at 6. People will get there before then. I will be there early because we'll have to set up. We will be able to get into the building at 5, I think. I'll have to double check that. So we'll be able to get everything set up, have time to do that. I will probably unlock or open the door, whatever door they're coming in at 5:30, 5:45, because we need to have that time for people to sign in and not have that happening while we're trying to start the meeting. So I will check with the school to find out what time we can get into the building to get set up, and then that will give me a better time of, here's when I'm going to open the doors so that people can start that process, and then we're not still signing people in at 6 p.m. when we're trying to start the meeting.
Can we vote on that tonight, or do we have to?
You
wait?
have to wait till the meeting. It has to be part of the public meeting.
Okay.
I think you want everybody's input as well. I mean, I
I
think,
don't have a problem with that. You were the one that was talking about people were going to be calling with questions about how this is gonna work.
and last time we just said, this is what we think they're gonna do.
Okay,
We
all
don't,
right.
we don't know,
Okay.
this, and that's all we can tell them.
So a half hour for the presentation, then discussion amongst the board, then public comment. So how much time are we gonna allow?
We don't know.
Well, that's what I'm asking for, you know, how much time are we gonna allow for people that are in favor of it? And then opposed to it? So.
You gotta be done by 9.
We need to vote by 9:30.
I say we give the petitioner a half hour. Okay? This is this meeting. And then we have our discussion. Then after our discussion's over, we look at the clock. And then we kinda, but we gotta tell them before.
Yeah, we gotta tell them beforehand. What about 40 minutes? If we did 45 minutes, you know, for and against, if it went to that, that would be an hour and a half. Our first half hour would be 2 hours, discussion amongst the board, and I don't think there'll be much, to be honest with you. Probably not any more than a half hour at the most. I don't, unless something odd comes up, I don't think there's much for me to ask. You know, it may differ with the others and so forth and so on, but I'd like to get this, tonight, while we've all got time to talk and not a lot of people, I'd kind of like to get this agenda in order of what we think and how we want to go about this.
Yeah, then you,
So, I mean, assuming we can get this timeline or the rules set out within, and voted on within 10 minutes. You guys want to give them 30 minutes for the petitioner, so that gets us to 6:40. Q&A, another half hour for us. It gets to 7:10 to open it up to the public. And then if we're talking half hour for, half hour for against, it puts us at 8:10.
then you get rebuttal.
Mm-hmm. We got another 20 minutes, so it's at 8:30.
No, 30 minutes for and against.
Should be voting by 8:30.
Well, how much time are we gonna allow for rebuttal?
Give them some rebuttal.
Yeah, right.
So what?
It all depends what they've got to rebut.
And you gotta allow time for someone to walk from the back of the room to the front, so I mean, really, can't budget every last minute, because it will take a few extra minutes for each person to make their way up there.
Well, but if we do strictly a half hour, then that's it. I don't care how fast you walk or how slow you walk, you know?
So unless they're doing a full-blown another presentation. So Greg, you're one that hasn't heard the whole presentation. I'm
I've
sure
heard it.
you've heard it
I've
at
heard it.
some point.
I've heard it.
You have been presented to.
I've heard it.
You really need a half hour.
Check you more too, so
You're
you're.
right.
I've heard it.
I just wonder how
This
this,
one, no, I can't say my question right now, so.
I just wonder how disappointed people will be that are there, that want to speak against this, that don't get the opportunity to. And are unhappy about that.
My guess is they're probably listening.
Pardon?
They're probably listening right now, kind of know this is happening.
That could very well be.
There's a good chance.
Well, they said, you guys, your rules say everybody gets 3 minutes. I'm just saying, somebody asked me, is it gonna be like it was last time? That's why I'm bringing it up. I mean, right now, if you don't do anything, everybody gets 3 minutes. Both sides, I mean, that's the way it is.
Until we run out of time with the building. Right?
Can we just open it up to public comment for an hour and be no more than 2 minutes per person?
I think it's hard to limit a person because you don't know how many's going to speak. There could be 3 people.
Yeah,
there
but I
could be
feel like
$100.
we have to do something. There was a lot of those people she had to cut off last time.
I know.
You know, she had to threaten, well, not threaten, but,
Do we have to divide for and against?
I would think so.
No, we don't. We did it the last time. People just got up and spoke, right? You were there.
Oh, yeah, right.
Well, because last time we didn't have, everybody was afforded, last time you gave everybody a chance to talk. So there wasn't, if you're,
Nobody was not left out.
yeah, if you're going to limit time, you need to give both sides the same amount of time, even if they don't use it.
so that's why we do need to split the time up, you know. We have to designate for or against in a specific amount of time to do it that way. So,
We're going to stick with the petitioner at 30 minutes. That gives us 30 minutes to ask them questions. It gives the public an hour, and that puts us at 8:30, assuming there's no further time, or wait for 40-minute vote, or before we vote.
well, presentation and discussion you know, whatever we're gonna do, you know, like, you know, so we're already in line with that.
It's the only thing on the agenda, right?
Correct. And it's time limited, so that's why nothing else was added to the agenda. That's why I said it's a full
So if we
agenda.
give them a half hour, then discussion amongst the board,
At a half hour.
you know, that would take us to 7 o'clock, allow 5 minutes for our vote if we've already got this lined up on what we're gonna do. So that would take us roughly to a couple of minutes after 7.
7:10, opening that for the public.
Oh, that sounds good. And we go
Half hour before gives,
40 minutes,
huh,
40 minutes for each one, a total of 40 minutes.
a half hour for each, would get us to 8:10, that'd give us 20 minutes for rebuttal, would get us to 8:30. 8:30 to 9 gives us a cushion for any other issues.
9:30 is nothing gonna be done by.
We've got until 9:30.
We got 3.5 hours.
We have to be
Correct?
out by 9, done by
Have to be out.
We have to be out by 10, but we need time to tear everything down and put things back so that they can have school the next day.
So we've got 3.5 hours maximum.
We need, well, we need time for, once we hear the rebuttal, we'll need time for us to discuss as a board, right?
You should. Well, so I guess, how much time do we think on the rebuttal?
It's hard to say.
Well, I know it's hard to say, but
20 minutes.
that's what I was thinking, 20 minutes. Maximum of 20 minutes.
So that gets us to 8:30, gives us some time for flex within these timeframes. And that would still give us potentially a half hour, 40 minutes to discuss
got it,
amongst
Mike.
us.
Right, if we wanna do that, or if Jim's contacted by NGRE or we
Yeah, right.
tell them they're gonna get a half hour
Yeah.
upfront.
Yeah.
Are we gonna-
Then, after the sign-in sheets are done, we'll know how many people are there, and we should know how many people are gonna speak, then we can figure our time real quick.
We won't have enough time to let them all speak, Andy.
We need 10 minutes in there for a potty break. Because we were
Just so
just
you
gonna
know,
get
like,
up
the way
and
it
go
is
at the
now-
last meeting and they threw a fit.
A regular time is you have 15 for the petitioner to present, then you give them 5 to rebut. So you basically give them a third of the time, I'm just throwing out numbers. You give them a third of the time to rebut that you do to present, is the way the standing rules are. If that makes any difference to anybody.
So if we give them a half hour for a presentation, then we give them 10 minutes for a rebuttal, correct?
Right.
Yeah, and I suppose they might, if, they may say to you, hey, we only took 20 minutes to present, we'd like to take 15 to rebut. I mean, I think you set it out and you, but again, you guys, it's your meeting, it's your rules, so you guys have to.
Yeah, I was just thinking if we give the against, 45 minutes, and then in favor, 45 minutes, and they only use 20 minutes, somebody will say, well, I want to use the rest of their time to,
No,
that's what they're going to say, though.
yeah, no. Maybe we only give them a half hour, maybe we only give them 20 minutes for the presentation to start with, instead of a half hour.
You're splitting hairs then, it's only 10 minutes.
I know it's only 10 minutes. You know, you call it what you want. After we hear that rebuttal, before we do any kind of a vote, there may be more discussion amongst the board too. So you don't want to cut it right down to, 10 minutes could be very important at the end of the night if we have to, Lisa?
It's your guys' decision. I can't make that decision for you. The restraints are, we start at 6, we have to be out of there, torn down by 10.
attention to
presentation,
you.
then a discussion from the board, public comment
What's that?
time for,
That's right.
okay,
Do
how
we have
much,
to segregate that out, Jen, for and against the public comment?
yes,
I'm sorry?
Do we have to segregate that out?
I think you should, yes.
yes, in
Yeah,
this
because I
case,
saw they're gonna have a grand opening or.
because they can say they used up all the time for it, and they didn't leave us any. So we have to split that up. So how much time are we going to allow then
Are they gonna add?
for the public comment?
They can't, there's really no places.
So you're saying 45 minutes for those that are in favor and 45 minutes for those that are opposed? Are you listening,
No, I'm sorry. What-
please?
Sorry.
45 minutes then on the public comments for and 45 minutes opposed. That's an hour and a half, 2.5 hours. Then if, I'm just saying, if we do that then, and we have a rebuttal somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 minutes,
How much time we leave this now, Jen?
So that's what,
that'll leave us 40 minutes, won't it? Okay, well, the only thing that we talked about changing there was, for and against being, as opposed to a half hour being 45 minutes. So that would add another half hour here,
then
and that would take us to 9 o'clock.
push us to 9. Then if there's any overage that needs into our board time, anytime we want to discuss before we vote, that gives us less than half hour
Yeah.
to discuss and vote.
So,
I'd rather have more time on us.
yeah, so are we back to the half hour then for and against?
I think that's pretty much.
Greg?
Let me
Half
ask
hour,
this
40
one.
minutes.
June,
Mm-hmm.
so if we have the people that are for speak first, and they know they're getting a half hour or 45 minutes, okay? Then if they're done, let's say they're done in 15 minutes, do we add that time to the other people? Or
No.
No, I don't think you can do that.
I'm just trying to do.
Yeah, I don't think you can,
I mean, if they don't use all their minutes, then that's just more minutes for you guys to be able to make a decision. You just continue you just keep going with the meeting using that allowed time. So you've got the people in favor of it
That's
had
why we have to
45
split it
minutes,
up.
but they only spoke for
So basically.
15.
Either side.
Either
or
side still
against
gets, yeah.
Petitioner and everybody else, the board, we're gonna need at least an hour, okay? That's what I'm saying, at the beginning or at the end, we'll have an hour, 30 minutes.
Well, after the presentation, we
Right, I see.
figured a half hour to start with then.
And then at the end, 30 minutes, so there's
Yeah.
an hour, so that leaves us 2.5 hours. So if you have 2.5 hours and you give them 30 minutes at the beginning, that leaves 2 hours. For both
So we
sides.
still have to do the prayer, the pledge of allegiance, we still have to.
No, no, because this wasn't voted on,
Was it?
and it's gotta pass the commissioners.
Set
Okay.
a bathroom break at some point.
I have a question. I'm all for the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't have, but we don't ever do that in this meeting. We never have done that in this meeting. So, not that I'm against it, I'm just saying, we're having a special meeting, so we're gonna add that in for something that we don't typically do. If we wanna add that in, I think we should do that for every single meeting, not just special meetings. Just my opinion.
Okay, so if we're gonna, so let's go with a half hour for, a half hour against, and then a bathroom break? Or do you wanna split that up? We could do those in favor, get a half hour, then we could take a restroom break, come back and hear those against, and the rebuttal, and discussion amongst the board. When do you wanna put that bathroom break in there, is what I'm saying?
I was thinking before the public, after our board question and answer, before the public, we open it up to the public.
No, that's only gonna use,
Be an hour.
yeah, about an hour. So, I was thinking maybe we try and stretch it out a little longer than an hour,
Right,
but,
yeah.
you know. I guess we can see who's yelling and so forth and so on, Zach.
Yeah, we don't have to put the,
Yeah, I guess we don't necessarily
We don't
have to put that
necessarily
in
have
there.
to put the
We
break-
can
the
decide
break could
whoever
be-
yells the loudest or
Yeah.
whatever.
you like,
So-
hey, let's,
A half-hour presentation, discussion amongst the board, a half hour for, a half hour against, 20 minutes for a rebuttal, and then discussion amongst the board, and then a vote. Is everybody good with that?
So that needs to be made in the form of a motion at the meeting on the 12th, the very beginning.
Yeah, that'd be the first thing we do. after
First
roll
thing
call.
you do after roll call.
Are you okay with this?
It's your all's meeting, I'm just here for the,
I understand, but I'm just asking. Jim, what do you think of this?
I think it's fine. I mean, your rules now allow for everybody to speak, and if you're wanting to deviate from that, you
You're
have to.
just gonna have to tell them,
you just
you're
have to-
limited to a half hour, and if one person takes it all up, then,
Yeah.
sorry, that's just the way it's gonna be. Unless you wanna try and, no, I think that we just leave it at that. I don't think we put a timer on it.
I'll set a timer for half an hour.
Yeah,
And
Exactly.
once the first person is done, I will say, this is how much time is left.
yeah.
And I'll do that for every person that's in, so
You can
everybody
call-
knows
so
how
you're
much
gonna
time they
call
have.
them out then, and Billy Bob Jones, do you wanna come forward and be the next speaker? And like Jenna said, he's back here in the back end of the place.
I'll
and-
pause the time
Okay,
to allow for me to say, here's the next person. If that person doesn't want to speak,
all right.
then we're not eating up time saying, here's your next person, here's your next person, here's your next person, especially if they don't want to come up. Like, you could go through 10 names before the next person
That's
wants
true,
to actually
that's true,
speak.
that's true.
And then you've got 10 minutes that you just
I would
wasted,
think, though, in this case,
right?
Yeah, so it's in a roundabout way, the people that are there first into the building and sign up to speak are the ones that are really gonna get, more than likely, get the opportunity.
More than likely.
I don't know any other way to go about it.
Yeah.
And it's up to them people, how they divide their time.
And yeah, that includes attorneys and.
Yeah, that's everybody across the board,
That's-
right?
That's everybody.
Mhm.
James? You cool with this? Okay. I guess we'll take a restroom break at some point in time when somebody speaks up and, you know. Well, I'm glad we brought this up. I got this kind of taken care of now rather than,
Exactly.
yes, good idea, good idea. Okay,
And I would probably send an email out to the attorneys involved, just to say, this is what was discussed.
yeah, yeah.
You know, that's kind of what we did last time.
I'll also send an email out to, I will send an email out to everybody, the whole Plan Commission board, about what we discussed for those that were not here today.
So, all right, okay. Anything else?
I have nothing.
Jen?
I'm good.
I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a second?